If you know anything about F1, you would know how important tobacco sponsorships have been to the sport. That was until they were banned all the way back in 2006. For a while, people believed that cryptocurrency could step up and fill that void. But with the recent crypto crash, the whole situation is up in the air once again. Stay tuned as we talk about all of this and more in this video. First up, will the crypto crash leave F1 untouched? For the longest time, tobacco sponsorships have been synonymous with F1 to the point where the fans worried about the sport's survival when they were banned. But time and again, it's been proven that F1 in itself is strong enough to weather all storms. As cryptocurrencies became more and more mainstream, they also entered the world of Formula One. Just like in the past, every team was sponsored by a tobacco company. In recent years, we have seen almost every F1 team agree on a lucrative sponsorship deal with digital asset companies. However, with the recent crash in the crypto market, many of these teams have lost their backing, leaving their future hanging up in the air. The crash was the hardest on Mercedes because the franchise had to let go of its deal with the crypto exchange FTX because the company had to declare bankruptcy. And while this has shaken up other franchises in the sport, according to McLaren boss Zach Brown, every time the sport has gone through a shift, it leads to a period of uncertainty. But judging by how F1 managed to not just survive, but also thrive after tobacco manufacturers left the sport, which is something that the critics were heavily skeptical about. So, the recent crypto crash is nothing to be worried about. While the entire situation is obviously going to have a huge impact on the sport, the overall future of F1 is safe and sound. Let's talk about F1 and tobacco sponsorships. It all started in 1968 when the tobacco company Gold Leaf struck a deal with Team Lotus in F1. Before that, sport sponsorships were only limited to billboards and ad displays around the track. But with the entry of Gold Leaf as a sponsor for the entire team, other tobacco companies also started making their way in. These sponsorships helped a bunch of teams achieve the financial stability they needed to grow and train their drivers to stay on top of the game. For about 23 years, everything worked out fine. But when France banned all forms of tobacco advertising, F1 followed suit. By 2010, all tobacco companies had officially left the sport. And once other companies had the chance to step in and close the gap, that's when technology companies started collaborating with Formula One. Franchises like Aston Martin and McLaren have been sponsored by software companies like Cognizant and Darktrace, and crypto companies have been the latest players to enter the game as primary sponsors of F1 teams. Next up, the crypto market and Formula One. Since 2021, a total of 9 out of 10 F1 teams have signed sponsorship deals with crypto companies, and that includes NFTs. This just goes on to show how much influence the crypto market has on the sport. Sadly though, with the recent crash in the market, most of the companies that have been sponsoring F1 teams are now trading for practically nothing on the stock market. For example, the value of 10 shares of Aston Martin sponsor Crypto.com has gone from $5 to just 80 cents, while AlphaTauri's crypto sponsor Phantom's tokens have dropped from $26 to a mere $2.05. And if you ask us, these numbers are looking a little dangerous. Add the bankrupt Mercedes sponsor FTX into the mix, and you can easily understand why people are concerned about the future of not just cryptocurrency, but also F1. However, according to the Ferrari team principal, while the franchise is monitoring the situation, everything is stable for now. Now for, what does the future look like for crypto in F1? With FTX's bankruptcy and overall devaluation of crypto worldwide, it won't come as a surprise if F1 teams start canceling their sponsorship contracts with digital asset companies. Another reason why cryptocurrencies might just pull out of F1 entirely is that plenty of teams are now receiving flack for what they're choosing to advertise. Because mining crypto tokens takes an insane amount of power, fans are now bringing the ethics of the sport into question because crypto companies are just not environmentally sustainable. Considering the fact that F1 has always stood for a sustainable world, teams striking multi-million-dollar sponsorships with companies that stand for the exact opposite just isn't sitting well with the fans. But above all, if digital asset companies are unable to make their sponsorship payments on time, F1 will probably start looking toward other industries. One thing's for sure though, considering the sport's popularity worldwide, Formula One will probably have no trouble finding new sponsors. So a crash in the crypto market doesn't necessarily mean the end of the world for F1. Moving on, let's talk about how a cryptocurrency scandal affects the sports world. The crypto market has always had its ups and downs, but with the recent bankruptcy of one of the world's biggest crypto trading firms, FTX, even the starkest crypto enthusiasts are losing their faith. Not just the F1, but FTX has actually made its way into many other sports arenas. The NBA's Miami Heat and Miami-Dade County had signed a sponsorship deal with the exchange, but all of that seems to be coming crashing down. With FTX filing for bankruptcy, the NBA teams have decided to terminate their partnerships immediately. immediately. In fact, Miami Heat will also rename their arena, while Mercedes will remove all FTX logos from their F1 cars. That's right, this situation really is that bad. Other names with major sponsorship deals with FTX include Major League Baseball, Tom Brady, Stephen Curry, and baseball pitcher Shohei Ohtani. Curry even took an equity stake in FTX and became the brand's global ambassador, starring in a commercial for them. But of course, all of that is being heavily reevaluated right now. And while the Miami Heat, Miami-Dade County, and Mercedes are the only ones to end their relationship with the crypto exchange for now, the others are expected to follow suit pretty soon. Followed by, why did FTX go bankrupt? Let's break it all down. FTX had its own crypto coins called FTT. Everything was going pretty well until all of a sudden, people started pulling their money and investments out of the exchange. Why did they do that? Well, that's because rumors started flying around that FTT tokens weren't as valuable as the exchange had claimed they were. Now, when the exchange struggled with processing tons of withdrawal requests, that's when it entered a liquidity crunch and went bankrupt. This way, FTX lost over $6 billion in 3 days, leading people to lose their confidence in the exchange. However, at this point, there was still a light at the end of the tunnel because Bitcoin was right on the brink of buying FTX out. But with the value of FTT tokens plummeting, Bitcoin decided to pull out of the deal. According to Binance, FTX's financial health just wasn't in a place where Bitcoin was ready to buy them. For those of you who don't know, Binance and FTX are the biggest rivals in the crypto industry. So when Binance announced it was going to be selling its holdings of the FTT, the entire market was pretty much destroyed by the reports of a liquidity crunch. According to Binance, FTT has lost almost 80% of its value, and since Binance had the option to pull out of the deal at any time, that's what they decided to do. And lastly, what can the world of sports learn from FTX's collapse? In the wake of all this, experts believe that the entire with FTX can lead to sports franchises and leagues completely avoiding association with crypto companies in the future. While it's true that for a short period of time, crypto was the next big thing in sports, but the recent volatility in the market is reason enough for a lot of sports companies not to take the risk ever again. Unless the crypto industry has better oversight and can control volatility to some extent, they cannot be viable partners for any sports franchise. And that is a major reason why the future of crypto in sports might be a little shaky right now. According to Larry Mann, a partner at a sports marketing agency, Revolution, he says that sports are an ever-evolving arena. This is why the industry is probably not really going to suffer a lot with the crash in the crypto market. Why? Well, because there are always newer opportunities for growth to watch out for, and because all sports teams are more likely to be cautious about crypto now. They will definitely be looking toward new avenues to increase their sponsorship revenue. That's a wrap for this video. So, what do you think of the sports world being impacted by the recent turbulence in the crypto market? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.